What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. We got the Dodge in the garage today, and we're actually going to be working on rear end of this car. And this is something that I've wanted for a very long time, and we finally got it after what, about a year or so. I've been looking at this product for a long time. I just couldn't justify the price. So now that we're running out of things to do on the Charger, you know what, I thought why not get it? And I think it's going to be worth it because it is going to make a very slight big difference, if that makes sense. It's one of those things, if you notice it, you're going to notice it and it's going to look great, but if you don't notice it, you're just going to be like, why did you even put that on? This is the Bigboze, I think that's how you say Bigboze exhaust tips. And this is how it looks. These are huge. I can actually fit my entire fist in here. So one thing about these is that they're very similar to the Carvin 5-inch exhaust tips, but one thing I like about this brand a little bit better is that they seem to be a little bit longer. So when you put them on the car, they stick out just a tad bit. You can actually see the branding from the top view, and I really like that. I think the Carvin one's a little bit shorter, but I went with the stainless steel setup because I think it's gonna match the hardware on the car, which is kind of the stainless steel in the center as well as the wheels. So I'm trying to get rid of as much black as possible. I'm kind of out of that phase, so I think the stainless steel is gonna be a great touch on the rear of the car. And you'll see how big these actually are once we get the stock exhaust tips off. So getting the old exhaust tips off should be pretty simple. You got that little bolt right there that needs to loosen up this clamp. Once you get it loosened up enough, you don't need to pull the entire clamp off. You should be able to pull this right out. And then from there, it's the same process as just reversing that order to get the new ones on. So it shouldn't really be more than a 5-10 minute process. I think now we just need to give it a little love tap because it's been on there. So it took a little bit longer than I would have liked. It was only about 15 minutes. It was just a little bit seized on there. We do live in a very salty, snowy state, so that's more than likely to happen. But here is the old exhaust tip versus the new one. And as you can tell, this thing is like double the size. I'm not really sure what the stock size is. Let me go ahead and measure that real quick. So we know that the new ones are 5 inches. So the old one is about 3.5 inches. So it's a whole 1.5 inch bigger. That took some time, but that looks so much better than the stock exhaust. So this is the new exhaust tip, and as you can see from the top, it hangs out a lot more versus stock. You can barely even see it from this angle, but the new one, big, girthy boy, super wide, you can fist it, and this one just looks like, what can I say? Bigger is better. Now we just need to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side. Hopefully this side's a little bit quicker. Now I know where to hit and tap and get the old exhaust off. And this is the old one right here. Dusty, grimy. This thing can honestly go. But I will save them just so if I ever do need to put them back on, I can. They're not damaged or anything, which is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and quickly do the other side, show you guys how it looks with both of them on the car. And I think it's gonna look really nice. And just like that, we got both of them installed. This side was 10 times faster. I even took some time to go ahead and make sure that the gapping around the entire exhaust was even. I even cleaned up the exhaust tips and the insides as well. Still a little bit wet, but I did the same exact thing on this side. So now all the gapping is even and they're both sitting pretty identical. So we have about that much space on this side, and then even on this side, it's an equal amount of space. So overall, looks really good. And again, it is one of those things where a lot of people won't really notice it, but it does add a nice little touch to the rear end of the car. But I know, and I think it looks great. I think it's well worth the money because it's a little bit different in my opinion, so I'm glad I'm running them now. And I think it just adds to the overall aggressive look of the car because the car is wide-bodied and the rear end looking a little bit more aggressive is always nice. And one more time, this is how it looks from kind of the side angle. Like, that looks so good. It just fills up the holes in the exhaust or in the diffuser so well. And in my opinion, again, I've already said it a few times, well worth the money. Yeah, that looks good. Got these old janky ones just sitting here now. I think I'm just gonna wrap them up inside the plastic and just keep them on my shelf of old parts right here. So that way, if I ever need them again, or I sell them, they're here. That is gonna be it for today's video. But the good news is for next week, we got some star lights for the headliner. So we're gonna be running that Rolls-Royce looking headliner. I could have easily sent this to a shop, got them to do it, paid a good amount of money, but I thought, you know what, why not do it myself? Save a little bit of money, spend some extra time, but I get to learn something new, and it is gonna be time consuming. You guys should see the star lights in next week's video, so stay tuned if you have a charger and you wanna get that done on your car or just any car in general. But I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.